I'm Cole Puckett.
And welcome to That Other New... Boo! Did we scare ya? No? All right, well, I'm sure your midterm grades will. I know mine did. And since it's our Halloween episode, we decided to do the news in costume.
And since we do the news, we thought that Walter Cronkite and Barbara Walters would be appreciated by our core demographic of college student parents. So don't click or tweet because this is That Other News Show.
I'm Alyssa Wesley. Welcome! You've got nothing, because after 20 beautiful years, AOL is shutting down their iconic instant messenger program. AIM, if you're a dumb millennial like I am, and you're obsessed with screens, and if you love what the baby boomers did to the economy, you'll also remember coming home from school and logging into AIM with cool screen names like J Greenpup 96, or Princess Alyssa 13, or Scotty is a Hottie 64. So to commemorate the end of this embarrassing era, we wanted to take a look at AIM's top 5 most memorable away messages from the biggest movers and shakers of the past 20 years. Number 5. We all remember when Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie inspired BFFs around the world by sending matching away messages saying, "Nicole is my BFF and Paris is my BFF," respectively. Truly amazing. Number 4. After the Super Bowl in 2001, Janet Jackson said her away message as, "Don't trip, it was just a little slip." Yes, girl. Number 3. Remember when Marshall Mathers proclaimed to be the real Slim Shady with his away message, "Hey, don't forget I'm the real Slim Shady, so everybody else, sit down." You tell him, Marshall. Number 2. Before the world hated Jimmy Fallon, he was rolling out the classics on SNL. And on his away messages, classics like, "This is my away message." Number 1. Who could forget the Friends set their away message as, "I'll be there for you, but not right now because I'm not online right now. We're on a break." Classic. So to AIM, we say farewell and thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. We're back with Rose Lee. Rose, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We've heard you've made some waves across campus this week. Quite the splash. You've inspired a wind of change. Did you cause this ridiculous weather pattern?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, so you wrote an opinion piece for the Ithacan. Can you tell us what the article is about?
Sure, yeah. So the piece is just a little bit about, the experiences I've had working at ICTV as a woman and some of the oppressive and sexist treatment that I've experienced personally. I also included some examples from other women who've worked at ICTV and they've experienced similar treatment. And I kind of talked a little bit about the professional television industry and how it is hugely dominated by men and a little bit about, what that means.
Right, so the Ithacan let you put in your 2 cents. So that leaves us with 76 cents, right?
Just about.
Sounds about right. So the article talked a lot about your firsthand experience with working with ICTV. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Sure. I mean, I've been involved with ICTV since my freshman year. I started out in sports, and I kind of experienced some, sexist treatment just because it was hugely dominated by men. The majority of the cast and crew when I worked on the sports shows were men, and there was just a small minority of women working on the show. And that just kind of resulted in, the men cast and crew members looking down on us and kind of ostracizing us in some ways. And it really wasn't a very positive experience for me. And so I kind of transitioned into doing entertainment. I started working on Sautéed, the cooking show. And it was predominantly women, working on that show. And I still experienced, sexist treatment in that environment, which just kind of made me feel really, really agitated because I felt that it was completely unfair for that treatment to take place in an environment where, it's not fit.
Yeah, why don't more people try to tackle this issue? Tackling's good, right? Sports! So anyway, can you describe the type of reaction you've received with this article?
Yeah, I mean, the reaction has been huge. I've received so many messages, emails from alums and other women at ICTV, also certain men who either resonated or didn't resonate with the article. It started a huge conversation on social media, and I've just been completely blown away. I didn't anticipate this kind of reaction, but it's been really amazing.
Yeah, I bet. So, and this piece was taken down shortly after being published. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So when it was initially published on Tuesday, what happened was one of the male crew members that I mentioned in the article, who I experienced, sexist treatment from, he was really unhappy with the article and emailed the Ithacan demanding they take it down because of libel. He felt that I, said some slanderous things against his character. So it was taken down because of that, and I had to revise the article to kind of make it a little bit more vague so you couldn't identify his person by reading the article.
I see. So the piece was taken down, right? And was it taken down low, all the way to the floor? How low did it go?
Very low.
Very low, excellent. So, and there's a rumor circulating that the new editor for the Ithacan is just a cat rolling around on a warm keyboard. Do you care to comment on this?
So the jury's still out. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I see. Yes. So what type of conversation were you hoping to start with this article?
You know, when the article was published, it really did start a huge conversation just about, you know, gender inequality in ICTV. And I think it's really amazing because I realized, like, I don't think anybody else has brought this, you know, issue to light before. So, you know, seeing how people have expressed, you know, I've experienced this personally, or I haven't experienced this, but it's still important that we talk about it. I think the conversation just leads to greater awareness, and awareness is the first step towards change. So I'm really, really happy with the results of it.
Yeah, let's give them something to talk about. Bonnie Raitt had it right the whole time. Well, thanks for joining us, Rose. You're top notch.
Thank you.
Hard-hitting news never takes a break, except for now. We need to take a break. Oops. In local news, Ken Lansing, a Tompkins County sheriff, is keeping everyone under tabs. Since the story broke that one of his jail guards was caught making out with an inmate, Lansing has revealed that he's keeping secret files on his enemies, and that since he's taken over as county sheriff, he's got a folder on people. Now, Ken, may I call you Ken? Who are your enemies exactly? A shut-down donut shop? A pigeon that won't stop pooping where he doesn't belong? An Ithaca college student whose sense of entitlement is through the roof? These are the things you've got to worry about as a sheriff of Tompkins County. Not any CIA or mafia level guy that's gonna break your office door down and demand some kind of fee from you. Oh, and Ken, we've got a file on you. Yeah, buddy, that other news show's got you busted. We know about the Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. We know about the repeated visits to www.math.com. We know about the Steely Dan concert tickets. So who's got a folder on people now, Ken? Yeah, us. That other news show. Here, right now, in this moment. Bye. I'm Jackie Squire, and welcome to That Other News Show.
No, I'm Jackie. You're Alyssa, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we're not feeling too well.
I guess this is what happens when you spend too much time at the most sickening place to get the news. The cops just called. I died 7 years ago. We'll be right back to interview our special guest. Welcome back. We're here today with Felix Argentino, the head of Kellyanne Conway's Glam Squad. How are you doing today, Felix?
I am doing quite fine.
I'm glad to hear that. So currently you're working as the head of Kellyanne Conway's Glam Squad.
The
Right.
KCGS, yes.
KCGS, very nice. So can you describe your experiences that led up to you being the head of her Glam Squad?
Well, darling, I am a stylist for all the political elite. Jean Bonner, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Nixon's, how do you say, dog.
Oh, how old are you exactly?
Timeless, darling.
Oh, okay. So can you describe your approach as far as the style you're looking for Kellyanne?
Well, I believe that our unique style can be described in one word, besides unique, of course.
Oh, glamorous?
No, horrifying.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Care to elaborate on that? Or?
You see, if we're going to offer voter statistics, the most Trump voters only respect two types of women. The ones that make you cake and prepare dinner for you after your long day at the steel mill, and the other, is ready to castrate you if you're late. Conway didn't seem like the baking type, so we try our hardest to make her strike fear in the hearts of Republican men.
Oh, well, I feel like you're succeeding with that. So what exactly is Kellyanne Conway like in person?
Well, one thing you don't see on TV is that she is often very late. That's not bad if in and of itself I'm often late for events. However, she starts pulling out excuses that are clearly fabricated. Once she was late for an interview with Jake Tapper, and she claimed that Obama paid the police to tow her car. And another time, her son was held after school, and she claimed that he was a victim of the Préninard private school massacre.
Oh.
N'importe. There was even a time where she slept in late and claimed that it was alternative waking up.
So I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to ask who this woman in the fur coat is standing behind you.
Oh, this is my good friend.
Hello.
This is Susan.
Susan, very nice to meet
Yes,
you.
but I call her Angelina for short.
For short, of course.
Yeah.
I see where that comes
Yeah.
from.
She's part of my entourage and my assistant as well. I caught her breaking into my house for shampoo, so I know her heart is in the right place.
Oh.
Yes.
I see. So have either of you met Donald Trump? And if so, what are your thoughts on him?
I've had only the pleasure of meeting him once. I was in front of the yard of the White House on a rainy day, and he walked out, and the sky cleared out, the sun came out. I know people make jokes about how his fake tan is awful or whatever, but in that moment he looked heavenly. He came up to me, shook my hand with his famous grip, pulled me close and whispered into my ear one thing. Blink twice if you're with Putin.
Oh.
Such a charmer.
So what are your ambitions for the future?
I just want to find love, maybe settle down, have a few kids. I had a couple of kids, a couple of sons actually. But I kept forgetting them at the park, and the government was just like, my country, we say no. So.
All right. Well, do you have anything to say to the kids out there watching who want to grow up to be just like you someday?
Yes, kids, save up. Hair transplants are very expensive. Also, don't leave your son at the community pool, and expect the government will most likely take him, because they will, even if it wasn't an accident, and especially if it was.
Very wise words. Thank you so much for coming in, Felix. It's been great discussing this with you. Thanks so much.
Merci.
We'll be right back.
The government in Cedar Rapids, Iowa has revealed plans to set aside 1,000 acres for butterflies and bees to roam without the dangers of pesticides. The project has been titled 1,000 Acres Pollinator Initiative. Well, isn't that just adorable? Iowa's making a live-action sequel to A Bug's Life. You know, in the state our country's in right now, we could really use something like this. The future of the United States may be questionable, if not completely doomed, but at least we all know our bumblebee and butterfly friends can fly free. However, as warm and cuddly as this story makes me feel inside, I have to wonder, is it the most important issue Cedar Rapids could be tackling right now? For example, there's a new bill in the Iowa House that wants to roll back protection against discrimination based on race or sexual orientation. Call me crazy, but that seems a teeny tiny bit more pressing than some bugs. Don't get me wrong, bees and butterflies are dying at an alarming rate, and that's scary. The Bee Movie, aka the most important PSA of our time, showed us the terrifying possibility of a future without pollination. But let's not forget who's running our country right now. We kind of need all hands on deck in the making sure America doesn't go up in flames department.